Welcome back. Just a quick recap on our project one. We in fact started off by creating the data set. We used the sample data set called the case routing intent directly off of the actual Salesforce sample data. And then once we created the data set, we actually verified that the data has been loaded, which was in step 2. Notice in step 1, right, going back to step 1, it did not give us any status message. So it just said uploading, and there were no records displayed. At this point there were 0 and so on, because this is still in process. So step 2 was where we actually verified the data has been loaded, and then we made a call to get the data set. So in this instance, the name was case routing intent.csv file. It was created. It gave us all of the labels, right? So one of the labels were order change, sales opportunity, billing, shipping info, password help. So these were the 5 labels that are part of our Excel CSV file. And notice as a result, it gave us the actual 150 examples or records. And the status message said succeeded. So this was our step 2. Step 3, we in fact use the curl command to train the data set and then create the model. So in this instance, we got the dataset ID, which we saved. The status said queued, right? Because we ran the curl command. So the status said queued, but it gave us the model ID, which is going to be used in the next set of commands, right? So see how the process follows, right? So we get the token, we get the data ID, dataset ID, and we got the model ID. So you just need to be careful and just kind of go step by step. So in this third step, we trained the data set and created a model. So we saved the model ID in this particular step. Next, step 4 was getting the training response. So this is, again, we're now asking questions, right? So we specified our dataset ID, we specified the model ID, and then of course ran this, and it gave us the training response. So the trained statistics showed that it actually looked at 5 labels, right, which is the shipping info, the order, and so on, 150 records, and then the time it took for it to analyze the entire data set. So these are all the iterations it took. So you want to make sure that kind of it shows you what actually happened, right? So the epochs here, notice 1,000. So it made took Einstein 1,000 iterations or whatnot. And sometimes what happens that it stops at certain iterations, right? So it doesn't really go through the entire iterations, because once it reaches the optimal analytics, it kind of stops, right, and goes to the next set of record or next set of analysis. So this is, in this step, we actually trained or got the training response from our data set. And then finally, the result. When the model is ready, we send the text for prediction. We asked a question, right? How many shoes, or where are my shoes, and things like that. So based on your data, you can ask any questions, and it'll give you the probability. In our instance, we got about 99% probability that it was a sales opportunity. So your app will route to the respective department or agent so that the customer can be contacted as a potential sales opportunity. So just a quick recap, right? I wanted to provide for this particular project so you understand the actual concept, and of course hands-on, as you can see the application itself. We're going to do some more projects as well, so it makes sense, a little bit different things, right? So it'll be good practice as we move forward. So I hope this helps, and let's move to the next lesson.